Hey guys, Cherryland Gaming here with another Yoji video. Got another fun one for us. So I actually decided to take Yoji to a battle harden in Baltimore because I thought it would be fun, and ended up doing really well. I made 11th place. I honestly should have top 8'd. I essentially only really lost one game. I went 7-2, but one of the games I lost should have been a free win, but I accidentally sideboarded Ron, made a silly mistake, and brought Iron Rot Legs in against a chain when I was supposed to bring in Null Rune Boots. And I probably would have won that game if I took that, so that was kind of unfortunate, but, you know, it happens. And then I lost to an Oldhim. Those were my only 2 losses out of 9 rounds, and I felt very favored into almost every deck I played against, except I played against 2 Reinhardts, which were very close matches. Reinhardt is not very easy for this deck, but we got there, so it shows something, right? But I'm pretty happy with that. I got 11th place, and I wanted to share the updated list with you guys because I know how much you guys liked the other Yoji deck tech for the skirmish win, and I thought we'd just dive right into it. So really all the changes, if you watched the other one, was I took out the never yields because I never really did anything. I put in 2 nerves of steel because that's what I should have ran in the first place, but honestly, I built the deck a day before the skirmish and it wasn't fully optimized. There's a steal, reason being is if you encounter a Benji, this pretty much just wins you the game on the spot because you can pretty much just block them for the rest of the game with your equipment. Pretty much makes that matchup an auto win. Not saying that people really play Benji, but its other use is you can block your tectonic plating early, and then you can remove that counter and get another 2 block out of it. And that's just if you don't have another decent play. Most of the time, you're probably going to swing Hammer over doing that, but if you're playing against like a Chain, for example, and they take an off turn, and you don't have a life gain card in hand, doing this essentially gives you 2 extra HP in a sense. So it's actually not bad. But besides that, the only other change is I took out Mage Master Boots and I put Anathos in to help with the Guardian matchups, because having that 6 attack on the weapon helps a lot. But besides that, matchup-wise, pretty much reasons to play this deck is you want to play against Wizards. In my personal experience and opinion, this deck almost can never lose to a Wizard. Wizards just don't have the power in Blitz to get over your wall. And some people have been disagreeing with me, but I haven't lost to a Wizard yet, and I feel extremely favored with all the life gain and running AB4. But it also could just be I haven't gotten blown out by Wizard yet. But in my opinion, you should never lose. And I was really impressed. I went 7-2 and I only played against 2 Wizards. And I consider that the reason to play this deck, and I still did well. But another reason to play this deck is it's very good into Chain, which Chain is very relevant right now. And besides that, it beats up other decks like Dash. If you play against a boost Dash, you just block out and she can't really do anything. If they're on Pistol Plan, it could be a little bit rougher, but they don't have a lot of HP, so you can probably kill them before they set up, even with only running so many attacks in this deck. But besides that, every other matchup is pretty fair. The matchups you want to avoid are Oldhim, which now you don't have to worry about Oldhim next time you probably play this because the announcement's coming out in 2 days, which means Oldhim's gone in a few days. But Bravo, I haven't really gotten to test the matchup too much because there's no reason to play Bravo right now because Oldhim exists. After Oldhim's gone, I think Bravo is going to start being played some more, and we'll see how we change the deck around to deal with that. And the other deck you want to really avoid is Prism. Prism, if they're a good Prism, you're probably going to auto-lose. If they're on a Herald game plan, you should pretty much always win that matchup, but if they're on a mostly aura-based deck, which a lot of the Prism players are playing, it's going to be a very, very hard match. You're pretty much going to have to hope you draw your Pulverizes early and just apply pure pressure on them. Even Spinals help, but most of their stuff are instant, so they can still double aura you even if you Spinal Crush them. So, yeah, for the most part, try to dodge prisms. If your local meta is playing prisms, you probably don't want to play this deck. I would recommend playing a more aggressive deck if they're playing a lot of prisms. But still, give it a try into prism. It's not unwinnable by any means. You can still win, but it's not going to be easy. But that's fine, right? Can't have an easy matchup every time. But besides that, pretty much how I play this deck is I play it like a basic defensive fatigue plan. For the most part, you're just trying to block in the early game and play out all your life gain cards and get above like 30, 35 HP. After you get to that point, then you're going to start trying to make sure you make a surge every turn and draw into your pulverize. Because if you have a surge, you just need 3 blues and you can pulverize for 14. Wait until you draw your spinals. You're pretty much just going to try to play your finishers after you get above that 35 HP mark, because you can probably take 10 damage and come back with a pulverize, and that pulverize is going to turn the game for you and you're going to be on the aggressor seat. And it's just a very powerful strategy. It worked out very well against most decks for me. And obviously, certain matchups like Chain, you're never going to be the aggressor. They have a Carrion Husk. You're probably never going to attack with Spinal Crush because they just block with Carrion Husk and move on. For the most part against Chain, you're just going to be blocking out, make efficient blocks. For example, don't ever be afraid to just block 2 with a piece of equipment on their Rosetta, so then you can play a life gain card. Because really all you're trying to do is trying to outvalue them. If you block with 2 of an equipment instead of blocking with your Healing Balm, then next turn you're going to gain 3 life of Healing Balm. And you essentially blocked 5 damage by blocking with that piece of equipment instead of blocking with Healing Balm and missing on that life gain. Because if you save the equipment, you're essentially protecting 4 HP versus 5 HP. And that's one of the ways to help you fatigue Chains better, because I know a lot of people struggle fatiguing Chain. I recommend playing Chain to learn how to fatigue them, because it's not the easiest thing to do. Chain is a very, very good hero. But pretty much, don't be afraid. Don't worry about like if they're coming in with like a 4 attack. As long as it doesn't have an on hit, just block 3 and take 1 damage. You're pretty much going to outvalue them every time. And on those Shadow Puppetries turns, even if it's coming in for 5, just block 6. You just can't let that on hit go off. And they might have an Art of War in hand, and they might buff it by 1 damage. Always overblock by 1, unless you know for sure there's no Art of War. Just simple things like that. You just gotta keep thinking about it. But as long as you keep up with that game plan, I think this deck is very solid, and you'll do very well with it. But yeah, besides that, the deck hasn't really changed too much. Like I told you, all I changed was Nerves of Steel, and I changed out Mage Masters for Nanathos. I had a lot of fun with it. It was really funny in Baltimore. Like, every time I sat down, people were like, "You're playing what?" I was like, "Yep, I'm on Yoji. Let's have some fun." Most people are like, "What the heck is this guy doing?" And I thought that reaction was very funny. So if you want to get a funny reaction out of your locals people, try this deck out. They'll be like, "What the heck are you doing?" And you'll just be sitting there laughing your ass off with your friends. I think it's very funny. As long as people are there just to have a good time and be like, "This is just a funny deck," then I think you'll have plenty of fun playing this deck. And honestly, this deck's not too expensive. The only card that is not budget friendly would be Crown of Providence. And honestly, as long as you have an Arcanite Skullcap, you really could just use that. But you do usually have more HP than your opponent, so Arcanite Skullcap doesn't usually block for 3 like it normally would. So I would recommend pick up a Crown of Providence for this deck, because Crown of Providence with this deck usually blocks 5 damage because you save it for a big turn and put your arsenal on bottom and get double blocks. But there are options out there. You could also run the Intellect Helmet, just to make it a little more budget friendly, because I know a lot of people don't want to pick up like Crown of Providence right now. It is just ridiculously expensive right now. So I completely understand if you don't own that piece of equipment. Just run something else. But if you want to be most optimized, Crown of Providence is the best for this hero. It's just a very powerful card. But there are a few options. Just don't run Iron Rot helmet. Don't let your friends see you do that to yourself. At least pick up that helmet Ice and Peak. At least it does a little bit more than just block 1. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this list and have fun with it. But I thought I'd also go on and talk a little bit about my Pro Tour and calling experience. I had a great time in Baltimore. I thought it was a lot of fun. Saw a lot of people that I haven't seen in a while and just had a good time meeting new people. It was just tons of fun. I love going to these events, and I would hope to see some people at some other big events. It would just be a great time. But Pro Tour wise, I kind of scrubbed out. I went 3 and 4, and I didn't day 2 or anything. I did really bad for Pro Tour. I went 1 and 2 in draft and 2 and 2 in CC, and I was very disappointed in myself in that. But I honestly played a little bit sloppy. I was playing aggro draw my, and I was playing sloppy in some of my games. And then when it came to draft, Riptide was open, and I decided to go for it. And I went for Riptide, and I just got outclassed by Spider's Bites and Kodachis. So I kind of screwed myself over doing that. Like, my deck was fine, but I had some really good players in my pod, and I should have respected that I was playing with some really good players and not played something risky like Riptide. But all in all, it was fun. It was a great experience. I didn't have any games that I got like blown out in the Pro Tour. They were all good games, so I had a really good time, and it was just fun. And then I played the calling. The calling, I started off strong. I was 4 and 1, and I was playing Big Dragon Dromai, and then I accidentally punted a couple games. I played against Alexi, and I just didn't block efficiently, and I let them get a Rain Razors Endless Arrow turn off against me and do like 21 damage to me just with Endless Arrow, and that did not feel very good. But that's what happens when you just block around, and it was just a huge mistake, and I lost the game because of it. And then the next game I lost was really tragic. You know how I was talking about how I was messing up my sideboard on Yoji? Well, I messed up even worse with Dromai. So I played against an Arachne, and I forgot to side in my remembrances, and I got fatigued. Ugh, that sucked. I got him to 1 HP, and if I just had 1 remembrance in my deck, I would have beat him. It was a really good game, though. The guy was really nice, and we were playing at a good pace and just had a bunch of fun. And I ended up the calling going 5 and 3, which I was happy with. I didn't get to day 2, which sucked, but I got to play the Battleharn and go 7 and 2 in the Battleharn, which felt pretty good. But all in all, it was just a really fun weekend. I picked up a couple goodies. I picked up a Marvel Crown and Dominion for my decks, and I picked up a Cold Foil Snapdragons, which was pretty sweet. So I got my first Alpha Cold Foil. And got a bunch of artist stuff. I hit up Steve Argyle and Federico. They're some of my favorite artists. I love everything they do with their dragons and Viscerai and all that. So I picked up a Viscerai and a Dominia playmat, and even got some extra doodles on them, which I thought was awesome. And very, very happy with this weekend. But yeah, if you want to ask me more about Baltimore, though, I got something fun that I'm going to be linking in the chat. If anybody would like to join, I did decide to make a Discord for my channel, just so anybody could come and just chat with me whenever they want. I'll respond to any messages in there, and hopefully we can build a fun community and just have good times, share decks with each other and ideas, and just have a great time doing it. So please hit that link and join the Discord. It would be much appreciated. Give me any feedback you'd like on the Discord. I'd like to add a roles bot to it and all that, and just come grow a community with me. I think it'd be really fun. And I'll also link this deck profile in the comments below. And I hope you can try out this deck on Talishar or at your locals meta if you already own all the cards, and have some fun with it. But besides that, thanks for watching. Please comment, like, subscribe if you don't mind. It would be awesome and help out the channel. But don't feel pressure to do anything you don't want to, right? But please just check out that Discord if you have the time, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.